landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Link, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, please.
Ever departure of Papa Hotel Tango India Link, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Link, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC final slam call request clearance to Vegas S5.
Qantas 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-file, and I'll be full route down. Qantas 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, then Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Qantas 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7 plus expect 025, departure 167, squawk 67, plus switching side.
Qantas 4658, 3 baggage correct. Tango Mike, taxi to the ramp via Echo and frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Link.
Ontario Tower says the 237 Charlie Alpha approximately 4 miles to the west inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left and record your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, returning for right base short.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right to land.
Otherwise, now looking at a 260 IFS going
Near 520 Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, runway 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ramp plus 4658 is traffic with weather going for taxi.
Qantas 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the islands.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, 4 minutes.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next week north.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go trail right left Bravo.
It was the radio area check.
Qantas 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for data.
Fifth takeoff trail right plus 465.
Palomar Tower to left by 2
Here's our Yankee Kilo Rush, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha.
Qantas 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Says the 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking bits.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, and on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
Southbound via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
November 2903 Alpha, going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha, going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying public mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound RLS 26 left. Or 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear land.
26 left, clear land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clearly active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on south ramp via Sierra, remain on this frequency.
Yes, here on this frequency, 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower,
Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 27, 03 Alpha. Riverside route, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Just stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold stroke point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Rocket. November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt to I-4 read today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. Which reminds me.
Las Vegas Tower plus 4658 visual 1 on the right, 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 1 eye right, 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, ramp via hotel, ramp frequency 465.
Bring out number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Alpha.
Taxi be active, VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach Ground, need you to just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that, 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right, via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right, Kilo, ready for departure via parking east.
We're at 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right down with departure.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right down with departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs. Ground scanning double Delta. East ramp, India. Close traffic. 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango with Mike, Palm Springs, ground, say again, aircraft type.
4A Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango with Mike, thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo. 31 right. Double Delta.
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, we see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground, just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, type Cessna 172 on the south numbers with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249 is 2061.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go and keep starting. Sky 791 Juliet, south numbers.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791.
Palm Springs Tower, scanning double Delta. Mike is holding short runway 31 right. Bravo. And ready for departure. Close traffic.
Hello everyone, welcome, happy Sunday. Yeah, a little bit unexpected. I thought I would stream only on Monday or Tuesdays, but now on Sunday I had some time, so let's just continue our awesome and very necessary IFR training work. Dad, good to see you. Good to know that the notification thing of Twitch is now actually working. Steeler, goedendag uit Duitsland. You're welcome, Steeler. Good to see you. Digital, welcome as well. And vote you. Thank you, guys. Agent, good to see you as well. So what I'm going to do today is continue on that holding pattern exercise, but this time NDB based, NDB or ADF referenced. And I think that's one of the most difficult ones or variations of how to fly in holding pattern. You can also fly one just on a VOR referenced or intersection reference that we did yesterday. Today we're going to do one based on ADF, and in the next stream I'm going to do one based off of GPS. And I'm not quite sure still how I going to do that based on the GPS. So interesting and relevant stuff, and that means that we are already progressing through our training program, and we are nearing that next stage of training where I'm actually going to fly the instrument approaches, the ILSs, and all kinds of very neat, interesting, complex variations to how to fly an approach. So the final stage of that IFR flight, and we're going to do that also on PilotEdge, talking to ATC. So that's the first time when we're actually going to involve PilotEdge with our training as well. So we did all of the instrument training, instrument flying, a lot of procedural stuff, and then it's getting more real and real and real until eventually I'm going to do my first actual complete IFR flight in preparation of my I rating. So I'm really, really excited, really have a lot of flying vibes rushing through my veins, and so today we're going to continue that work. Andrew, good to see you as well. Steeler, I love your new starting screen. It's awesome with the FS-like font on the logo. Yeah, exactly, Steeler. Yeah, I love it too. Very crisp, and yeah, I totally agree. Thanks. Okay, so here we are. I've set my custom weather again. This time, not setting my visibility to low, but just a huge stratus overcast kind of weather layer starting at 2,000 feet. As you can see, one gray blob. So as soon as we departed from El Monte, where we are currently, which is over here, as you can see, so the LA area. It's a Delta class airport. PilotEdge is not live, so we're currently in CTEF, non-towered airspace. We are going to depart this little airport. We're going to go up, and as you can see, right on top of the airport, there is an NDB, El Monte NDB. Now, I just noticed on the sectional here that the actual ADF frequency is crossed. Don't know why. I think that thing would still be active here on X-plane. No update since. So what I'm going to do is fly a holding pattern based on the El Monte ADF outside of the airspace here. Chances are that we might keep on flying, and eventually still we're flying while PilotEdge goes live, and so I'd like to stay out of any airspace so we can then do a controlled nice arrival at El Monte once we finished our practice flight. So I'm also considering all of the airspace around here. The LA area is so dense with all kinds of airspaces. We got obviously El Monte, so we need to fly at least above 2,400 feet to stay outside of that airspace. So we're just going to climb up. We're in the soup. And we need to stay clear of the Bravo, as you can see here. All of these darker blue lines is part of the big LAX Bravo airspace, and we are particularly concerned about our section here, which starts at 4,000 feet. So basically, we have room between 4,000 feet and 2,400 feet to do our practice turns. So I would say 3,000 feet would be fine, or 3,500. Then the holding pattern itself, well, I thought, I don't know if that's usually the case, but usually, or perhaps, I think I read it somewhere, that when you're going to assign a holding pattern, if it's not published, it's usually in reference to a Victor airway. So, for example, here, I could imagine that an ATC controller, and that chance would be very unlikely, I guess, for us as 172 pilots, but still, that we could fly a right-handed holding pattern on top of El Monte with our inbound leg as the Victor 186 airway here. And so that would be our inbound leg. So let's just do that. I don't really care what inbound leg heading we're going to pick, as long as we're just flying and holding pattern based on an NDB. I thought let's just use that airway. So my inbound leg in this case, let me see, the airway should, yeah, 0, 9, or 5. That's going to be my heading for that inbound, first initial inbound leg for that holding pattern, and then right patterns around that holding pattern NDB fix. I have not set any crosswinds just yet, so I'm expecting that the whole NDB stuff is going to be a little bit more complex than flying an intersection or VOR referenced holding pattern. So let me just first get a sense of how to fly this stuff with an ADF, and then once I get the hang of it, we can just get a crosswind going to see how I'm doing. That's the idea. So we're basically just circling up, getting to 3,000 feet or so outside of any airspace. We're going to practice that holding pattern and have some fun. And then I guess just around when PilotEdge goes live, we go back and contact El Monte Tower here, and we land. So a basic quick flight, but a very necessary one. It's going to be challenging, I think. So that's the idea. Alrighty. Well, again, I'm repeating myself here, but a bug here with the fuel tanks and with the fuel gauge that don't work in this current alpha version that I'm flying with SimCoder. So yeah, I think it's already fixed, but I need to install it, install that improved version here on my computer. So ignore the fuel gauge and the fuel pump or the fuel tanks here. I mean, because they do work, luckily. Okay, let's get going right away. Fasten our seatbelts. There we go. And we can close the door. Again, I'm skipping the pre-flight here. Parking brakes. Those are set. Life vest, fire extinguisher, doors closed, windows closed, ELT set to auto. Flap levers are up. Flap lever is up, and my flaps are also actually up. My mixture is working. Throttle is working. My trim is set. It's a little bit down pitched. Fuel tanks again, a bit weird. Fuel cutoff is in. Alternate is in. Avionics is off. All of the lights are off except for the beacon. Batteries are off, and the magneto switches are set to off. Thank you for the follow, Fox. Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. Yes, so we are cold and dark. That's wonderful. Batteries on. Again, I would expect to see a fuel gauge reading. We don't have. I do like to be sure what our current. Yeah, so let's just make that a bit more. Okie doke. We might run into freezing thingies. So let's just double check our pitot heat. Walk around. Both lights. Hello? Yeah. And our, yeah, you can see that the pitot tube is warming up. So that's really good to know. Off. Avionics on, initial check. Still mode C, 1200. We don't need any frequencies right now, but I do like to check my flaps. I'm skipping that one, that's not good. Go down, very good. Yes. Annunciator messages, they look good to me. My altimeter should be set at the airport elevation, which is 296, so 300. I'm going to check in with ADIS soon, but then we can confirm that our altimeter is also actually working. That's why it's always good to set it to the airport elevation and then confirm using ADIS rather than just merely listening to ADIS and setting the barometric pressure. Now we also check that the altimeter is actually working. Heading indicator, it's very, very off, as you can see. We are currently at 10 degrees, 11 degrees. Zip. There we go. Again, every 10 minutes, Tim. Every 10 minutes, cross-check, because this thing runs away from you and it can mess you up. Okay, that's good. Well, timer we can already set to our stopwatch. Again, this is checked and everything seems to be just fine. Yeah, so avionics off. A little bit of a throttle. Fuel pump on. Prime the engine 1, 2, 3. See positive fuel flow and cut off. Good. Again, parking brakes are set. Fuel tanks, yeah, weird. And is there anyone walking around? My computer's a little bit stuttery. Don't know what's going on. Hoping that it's not some Windows updating going in the background. Most of the times that's the case. No one is walking around, so clear up. Mixture in, back to both. Oil pressure's in the green, good. There we go, set to 1200. Lean for ground, so let's see, in rise in the RPM there. There's the drop, so a little bit originning. Back to 1000. Alternator on, see a slight rise in the M meter. Avionics on, good. And our flaps can go up. Let's also check our control surfaces, by the way. To the right, that one goes down, that one goes up. Although down and up. Up, down, looks good. Trim is working. And rudders work as well. Wonderful. Hey, Scrap, good to see you. Next stream crash incoming. Yeah, that's what my gut feeling is telling me as well, Scrap. So finger crossed. Hey, Finish, good to see you as well. Welcome on the stream. Happy Sunday. Yes, so engine is running. It's still cold, obviously. Now we can set some radios. Let me just zoom a little bit in and freeze. So here is the ADF, which is still a bit weird to me, actually. 359 it should be, and it is set, or it is not. This is a standby frequency, I guess. It's on. Can I switch it? Bloop. 359. And I don't see any response here at my ADF. So it could be that X-Plane doesn't have this El Monte NDB. There is another NDB, I believe, on the other side. Yeah, there's one there. Peters. And I believe there's also one on this side, but I'm not quite sure. Which is a little bit more nearby. I don't see it that quickly. Perhaps you might get a reading once we are airborne. If not, we could also be exactly, the enemy could also be exactly to our east side here, or yeah, to our east side. But it doesn't give me a good idea. Did you set your own weather? Yes, I did. You can go to local map and see the enemies with their frequencies. Maybe it has a different frequency in game. Is there a map in game? Yeah, I don't think that this it's gonna be a different frequency. We can check in-game map. El Monte. Does it give us frequencies actually? .359. 359. No, it should be the same. It's there, so it should be there. I have to see. Perhaps airborne, and then we got a good reception there. We have to see. Finish. Make sure the antenna position is not set. What do you mean, Finish? Is there something that I can do with these additional buttons? ADF, antenna. Oh yeah, that's the one, I think. Yeah, and it's now set on ADF, so I think that's the proper setting. I can remember that Digital was also referring to this a while ago when I was doing ADF bearing flying. I think this is the right setting. We'll have to see when I go airborne. Yes, so that one is set, and what we need are some comm frequencies. I'd like to have ground and tower. Let me see. El Monte. Yeah, ground 1 to 5.9. Niner, I should say. Boom. And tower is 1 to 1.2. We're not going to chat with tower though, because PilotEdge is not live yet. But in case it does go live while we're still airborne, then we've got all the frequencies set. 1 to 1.2. Yes, that's tower. And 8 is, let me see, COM 2. That's 118.75. Okay, let's have a listen.
El Monte Information Yankee. 1200 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 1800 overcast.
Exactly.
Temperature 14. Dew point 10. Altimeter 2992.
Exactly
Arriving runway
corresponds.
01. Departing runway 01.
And the rest I don't care about, to be honest. Yeah, digital, that's actually what I was thinking as well. Perhaps it's exactly on the right of us, but well, we'll have to see. I don't know. Okay, comm radios are set. It's set to ground currently. I guess with CTAFs, when the airport is closed, which is usually the procedure that PilotEdge follows, I believe, the CTAF is active. And the CTAF is usually the tower frequency, but I'm not sure. Unicom. Tower. I don't know if there's actually a description there. Tower here is 1 to 1.2, that's correct. But we also have a Unicom, which is also a CTAF base. Their CTAF 1 to 1.2. On top there, communications. CTAF. Yeah. And Unicom is, I believe that Unicom, which would be also be very cool here on PilotEdge, is a manned kind of CTAF frequency where someone is just sitting at the radio, just giving information about where other aircraft might be in the traffic pattern. So it's not really a controller, but it's just someone there. I don't know, and I don't quite know what's going on there with Unicom, but that's one thing that is not included in PilotEdge. Still, well, we need so many more controllers to do that. We've got so many non-towered airports with Unicom frequencies. Yes, so that's what we did, and we are slowly warming up our nice little airplane. So that's good. That's set. That's set. That's set as well. We are leaned, and engine is warming up. We're already past 75 degrees, so we're ready to taxi. Let's turn on our taxi lights as well, perhaps our nav lights, because we got these clouds. Where are we going to taxi to, Tim? Good question, Tim. Let me see. Giards taxiways. El Monte. So here we are. Also, what's interesting, little detail, I guess, is I'm referring to the airport as El Monte. But as you also have seen probably on the sectional, the airport is called San Gabriel Valley, I think a year ago or so. However, if you look at the frequencies there, that listing, it says El Monte Tower, which is a bit weird. I don't know why they didn't change that, because usually the airport was also called El Monte. But that is the name to follow. That's the call sign of the controller. So in either case, we're going to refer to El Monte Tower or El Monte Ground, even though the airport is called San Gabriel. Where are we? We are in the middle. Whoop. We're somewhere there. I would suggest that we fly runway 1. We have no winds set. Go up and catch that 095 radar. We could set that in the ADF, by the way. That's also a good preparation. So we're going to taxi to the left here, all the way down. We could also take an intersection departure. We have plenty of runway. Okay, done. Sectional, there we go. Yes, so 095 was it, I believe, that I picked. 095 for that Victor Airway here. 095, click. So I already set my heading bug to 095. And yeah, and this is the tricky bit about the ADF. This OBS ring, or this compass ring, doesn't do anything other than just is just a intellectual reference, I guess. It doesn't do anything with the needle like the Nav1 and Nav2 OBS does. So this is, in a way, what you're doing, or what you want to do, is to change this compass rose accordingly based on your current heading, right? Actually, you like to transpose the ADF on top of this heading indicator, and there's actually an instrument that can do that. But here in our 172, yeah, we have these, we have those separated in a way. So during our flight, we need to reset our compass ring here, and I would suggest, it depends on how we're going to enter that ADF, I think. Or it doesn't. It's interesting. I'm going to set it to the 09 or 5. Well, could have gone the other way around, but let's just see what happens. 09 or 5. Okay. Is flight information service and thank you, finish. Thanks, flight information service. Okay, so engine is warm, very apparently, and taxi lights, nav lights, good. Parking brakes released, brake test, looks good. Yeah. Where do we need to go to? Clearly not that direction. Oh, there's the runway. Okay. There we go. Turn indicator, heading indicator. Seems to be all working just fine. Good. Around 900 knots would give us a steady taxi speed. What a grey blob of soup there, guys. IMC custom set. So yes, yeah, as soon as we were flying, what was it? 1800 feet. We're gonna go into that cloud base. Make a proper IMC training again. Which is obviously necessary when we're practicing for IFR. Thanks for the follow, Lely Leonidas. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Alright. So, yeah, while taxiing, it's always a good time also to already start your rehearsal of the takeoff. Let's go to the right here. Don't know if there's going to be an exit. We're going to go right onto the runway. Yeah, we will. Weird. So they're paved. There are paved sections here in between the taxiway and the runway. That's interesting. Okay, coming up. So we're going to take off. We're going to depart up to 3,000 feet. We stay actually on top within the terminal area of the airport. To fly that NDB based holding pattern. Got no winds, so this is fine. Engine is already, or the oil temperature is already in the green, as you can see. Good. So mixture full in. 1800. There we go. Everything is stable. No one on shader messages. Good. Left mag. Good enough drop back to both. Right mag. Good enough drop and comparable. Back to both. Idle. Still oil pressure is there. Everything is still stable. Good. Okay, one notch of flaps. Trim is set. Again, fuel tanks ignore. Fuel tank selector, I mean. We're going to go up north and we're going to fly inbound to the NDB and determine what our entry should be. Kind of holding entry procedure. Yeah, that's about it. 125.9. That was the ground frequency. Let's set it to tower now, which is CTAF. We got runway 1, as we can see here. Looking at our taxi sign, I don't see any traffic right now. This is also a towered airport, so there's usually no AI traffic on these airports. So there we go. El Monte traffic. Sky Popper Hotel Tango Mike is departing runway 1 for a straight out departure up to 3,000 feet. We're gonna fly holding patterns on the El Monte NDB on top of the airports. El Monte. That was a slope. My gosh. Okay, there we are. Again, aligned with our compass as well. Good. Ready to go. A little bit of right rudder. Man, it's dark because of that cloud layer. My gosh. Airspeed's still alive. Engine is still in the green. Good. 50. And 60. And rotate. Good. Push that nose a bit down to increase our speed. Trimming. Didn't turn on my landing lights and strobe lights. Now they are turned on. Good. Flaps up. Obviously we have mountains there, so once we're in the clouds, we need to stay a little bit to the south side of things. Which is going to be interesting. Very curious to find out how that holding pattern will do in an ADF. What is my ADF doing, by the way? It's still, well, it is pointing. Has it changed? If it isn't, then yeah, we need to find ourselves another NDB. I guess that Pete is NDB to that direction. Digital speed bumps, yeah, I guess so. Still going up. Don't see any change in the ADF needle. And the thing is correctly set, right? 359er. And especially if it's on top of the airport, the NDB, it should not point downwards. So I think that the ADF is not working. $2,000 feet. Let's make a right turn here, see if the ADF needle changes. If not, we're going to go to Petis. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the ADF needle doesn't work here at El Monte. That's a bit frustrating. Now again, the entire airspace here is currently non-towered. And lights off, strobe lights off. In the soup. What's that Petis? It's over there, 397. Yeah, digital. I saw that as well here on the sectional that it was crossed out, but I wouldn't expect that the X-plane would also not work with the El Monte NDB anymore, and I think it wasn't crossed out a while ago, so I think it was a recent change, but perhaps I'm wrong. Most likely I'm wrong. And we also see it in the X-plane map. So it is built in, but apparently it doesn't work. So I would expect it's something to do with my settings here, but okay. 3,000 feet, we can lean already a bit. Trimming down. Looks good. Our speed increases, so we also steadily will climb. Ah, thanks digital, thanks. Alright, first fly the airplane. Seems stable enough to me. So let's reset that thingy to 397. Let's see how that works. 3, 3. Niner 7. Switch. And my ADF is still not working. Then it has to be me. What am I doing wrong with my ADF? Why is my ADF not working? Out of range. Yeah, that could be, Captain. But I'm starting to doubt myself or the airplane. I mean, there couldn't be anything that we did. Still set it to that antenna thing. Let's just set it to ADF once more. Or is my reality XP overriding things? It just brings that thing up. Weird. Ah. Freeze settings. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, then explain. Then OBS doesn't get what we're doing. Let me see, guys. I will change back the screen in just a second. Hide window. Click. OBS. Let's go down. Explain. There we are. What are we doing wrong? Make sure the receiver is not failed. Yeah. We now set 2 different ADF frequencies. PILOTEdge, right? I'm not... PILOTEdge. I even remember that we flew PILOTEdge a few streams ago when I was just practicing bearings. Yeah, and failures. Yes. Where is failures? Edit failures. Fix all systems. Done. Apply. No, let's switch back to... What's going on here? Circuit breakers. Yeah, we checked that there was no failure, so... Oh yeah, identification on the radio show code. That's really good. That's also something that I actually also forgot in the previous streams, to always identify the navigation fix that I'm using, also with the VOR. So from now on, when I'm flying and I'm using the VOR, check, identify it. Now with the ADF, it would be weird if we would get a signal now. Number 2. It's not a failure. I have pressed all the buttons that I could press. We used alternate NDB frequencies. We turned the thing on and off. Hey, Z-Camera, good to see you. I think we are lost here. That's a bummer. But it's really, really weird though. And Digital, did you check in your sim? Because an alternative explanation could possibly be that it's sim coders, because also that fuel gauge is not working and the fuel tank selector is not working. Perhaps the ADF is also not working, which is just incidental, but who knows? Starting right now, Roger. Could there be a bug in the sim coders? Yeah, exactly, finished. That was something that triggered my reasoning as well. Maintenance report, blah 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 blah. What about the green GPS light above the CDI? I know it screwed things up in FSX a long time ago. This one. Oh, that's a good one. Click. Click. How do we switch out of GPS mode? It could be that that's the case. Yeah, folks, I believe it is. We can check one more time, but yeah, there we go. Well, here for El Monte, we can also check PILOTEdge. Three, 9, or 7. Tune ADF1. Click. This could be a good hunch. This could be a... But I think I was able to... You're using a beta, right? That's a bug. My ADF is working with the NDB. Oh, damn. Okay. So, if that's the case, and the ADF is not working here, then I'm going to change things up. Then I'm going to switch to Mirai's airplane. And digital is using the latest official release. Yeah. Let's check. Are we still flying then, or are we going to start at El Monte right now? And start a new one as you configured it. I just like to change the airplane. That's the only thing that I'm doing. Well, either case, don't really care. We need to have that NDB to practice, right? Couldn't load the sound bank. And then explain crashed. Crash reporter. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just use the map tool to bring myself up to 3,000 feet with the default 172. Tune in that ADF and we'll fly it. I mean, we don't need that realism for this practice bit, but it's weird. It's a little bit too buggy, and it's also unrelatedly buggy. Why do the... I mean, with the fuel tank selector and with the fuel gauge, it makes sense that the thing is not... that those are connected, most likely. Let me see, El Monte, yes, and just give me this default Skyhawk. Overcast, yes, load it up. Ah, that soundbank bug happens when you have the rep as an AI plane. Weird. I think I set it all to off, and I think that PilotEdge also overrides all of the default AI traffic, doesn't it? Okay, need to write myself a bug report for simcoders. How was it, El Monte, Captain? Still got 30 minutes remaining before PilotEdge goes live. Yeah, we're just gonna go to El Monte here. 359er with a default 172. We go up to 3,500. I drop myself out of the sky and have some holding pattern NDB fun. Yes. Yes, and yes, realistic. Yeah, are we now? Why is my track IR not working? Develop camera control panel. Hello. And does this work? We are flying the... Yeah, just the default 172. Why is my track IR not working here? X camera. I think it's just X camera, right? Control panel. Enable track IR. Save all, perhaps. That's a bit of a bummer. Can I use my... Yeah, how can we go down? Can we also look down? Let me see. Keyboard. Or actually, I just like to go to my joystick and... Yeah, but I guess Spot Next is overriding this stuff, I think. Glance up. What I need to do here is I move view up. Are we then sitting more? Let me just see. Down, and this one, move view down. Yeah, that's not the one that I wanted. Don't want to lower my seat. I want to look down, move up, glance up, head switch up, head switch down. Doesn't do anything. What's the keybind that I need to set here to just use my head switch to view, to look up and down? Glance straight down. Yeah, I guess that's the one. Rotate view, tilt down. Let's try that one. Rotate down, done. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one. And I don't need anything else, I guess. Yes. PilotEdge is not connected. I think that's fine for now. And I think we can just go up. Let's go up. Did we set it already, by the way? 3905. No, switch. And let's go up to 6,000. I don't care. There we are in the clouds. Yes, this is all in. Don't stall on me now. Yeah. Okay. Yes, and we got a working ADF. Yay! Okay, so it's down. Let me see. Can we trim just a tiny bit? Yeah, but now we're right on top, so that's not really helpful. Let me just first move myself, yeah, a little bit away, something like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that NDB. And once we're there, we're going to make right patterns, right holding patterns. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Yes. So keep on turning. Good. A little bit of a trim there. A bit more power. There goes the NDB ADF needle, as you can see at the bottom. Power. Okay, Okay, just follow the same procedure, I guess. So first fly directly towards that beacon. There we go. Alright. How is our trim doing? Not too bad. To fly a little bit to the right here. Get to that NDB. Yes, this is going to be our inbound course, so it's now to the left here. So that's pretty much just on the edge. It could be direct entry, it could also be a teardrop entry. Let's make it a teardrop one. Okay. Keep flying to that NDB. It's going to get more sensitive while we're going towards it. Ah, finish. Ah, right. NDB approach star. There's a published pattern. Oh, well, but it doesn't really matter for practice sake, though. But thank you for suggesting. All right. There we go. You can see Amonte here on my GPS. Approaching it. Okay. As soon as it's there, we're gonna see it swap like it would from the to from position with our nav, and then we're gonna make a right turn so that this heading bug is 30 degrees from our heading. So we're flying 30 degrees off into that holding pattern and then make a right turn to enter that needle, to grab that needle. So there it goes, the NDB, as you can see, whoop, crossed it. So now I'm gonna make that right turn a bit of a yoke aft. Something like this. 30 degrees, 1 minute. So we're now flying right through the holding pattern, if I'm right. Bit of nose up trim. We do that for 1 minute. And then we make a right turn. Let's also set the compass rose here to 95, which doesn't do anything, but it's just for our own reference. We should actually set it to our turn backwards, actually, 180 turn. Degree turn. So it should be 6, actually. 60. 1 minute on the clock. Let's see what this does. There we go, making that turn. Should be standard rate, but I'd rather increase it just a tiny bit so we are shorter. Come on, making the turn. There we go. Bit of right pedals. Click remove. Come on, a little bit more of a turn. Alright. So far so good. So now at 60, I'm gonna level off. And then you can see that we still need to fly just a tiny bit further on to get this needle to that east 095 heading, if I'm correct. And then we know that we're on that bearing. Radial, there are no radials for ADS, by the way. Technically. Yeah, I think this is right what I'm thinking. So you can see that that needle is now moving towards the right. This compass ring should now correspond with my current heading. So as soon as this needle is pointing to 095, we know that we're actually on that bearing 095, and then we're going to turn 095. Almost there. Ah, finish. Yeah, that could be true. There we go. 0905. So now we're turning. And now we're setting it to 0905. There's our 0905. Ah, we're not there. So I'm increasing it just a tiny bit. To the right, so we move that needle a little bit to the left. Something like this. And now it turns on us, figuratively. And there we go, making that turn, standard rates. Standard rate, Tim. Okay, let's do one more try. And this is with winds, calm conditions. Imagine doing this with crosswinds. We're going to do that in just a sec. Alright, there we go. Nice standard turn. Waiting for that heading bug to be at the bottom. Let me see. There we go. Click. Alright. It's really useful to check the needle position and compare it to your inbound position on your course indicator. Then you can reduce or increase your bank angle to match them up and be bang on when you exit the turn. Oh, that's a good one, Shoko. Good one. I'm flying, shortcutting myself here, which is not good. Keep that bug at the bottom. So that means that we need to increase our turn soon to compensate. There we go. Bit of right rudders. Let's see, I was not that precise with keeping my heading in that outbound leg, so I guess we're not be spot on. But let's see what happens if I just keep on turning. There comes the needle. Well, yeah, we're too shorts. Shorts. Like this. Well, this is 0905. Oh, there we go. And 0905. So it's a little bit more of a hassle because you need to change the OBS all of the time. Okay, good. Let's wait until that's I'm flying off my heading here, I know. Till that needle swaps again, and then set a nice crosswind component, because then things are also going to get a little bit more nasty. There it goes, I think, the needle. Yeah, I wasn't flying exactly, and also I need to cross-check. Look at that. That's not good. So that means that I've probably been flying an entirely different holding pattern, even though it was a holding pattern. If you would actually look at the chart, it would be quite different. And there you go. Oh, that's nice. Tim, cross-check your compass and your heading indicator each and every 10 minutes or so. Yeah, so what you can see here is I'm making that turn. I was coming in here. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Inbound. Yes, I think that, yeah, this was the teardrop for 1 minute. Yeah, that's what we did. So I came in, that's the 30 degrees offset, if my compass was, if my heading indicator was right, from that airway. Teardrop, that's 1 minute. And it suggests to me that actually we had a tailwind. Why did we just flew 1 minute, and this is already that 1 minute. That's the usual holding pattern, at least with this heading deviation. It's quite a distance away from that holding pattern, actually. I wouldn't expect that it would be that much. Perhaps we were flying much faster then. But I don't think so. In either case, always stay at the protected area of the holding pattern. So, and that's the, yeah, if this would, in my mind, this was the inbound leg that we were flying, looking at our compass, but obviously it was off, or we're looking at our heading indicator. So at all the times we were flying in this protected area here on that right-hand side of the holding pattern. So that's the primary thing. So that's good, but it's quite extensive here for that 1 minute. It also took some time to grab that, to catch that bearing inbound to the NDB. Yes. What should we do now? Well, what we can do is just move our little airplane over here. Actually, the NDB is not really on top of the airway. We can change our heading. 0905. Why doesn't our airplane change direction? Well, 0906 is good for me as well. Yeah, a little bit more outside here, so we can change this a bit, and we can reset our compass. Let's see. Here we go. 140 should be 095, exactly. 095 makes a difference, doesn't it? And the needle is exactly at the top. Yeah, makes sense. Good. So again, we're flying the inbound leg. That's good. Now we're going to set a crosswind. And yeah, wind layer, there we go. Don't really care. How high are we? 5,000, so that's fine. Let's make it a bit more significant. Let's make it 20. And it's from the direction 095, so let's make it, yeah, 0. That's good. Boom. Apply. And I don't know what X-Plane is actually doing with this, whether the wind is coming from, or it's flying, or it's going towards. I guess the arrow means that that's where the wind, yeah, so it's coming from the north and it's going down south. Yeah, it's coming from the north, okay. Yeah, it's coming from the north, so we got a crosswind going now, so we're getting blown away, so this arrow is going to turn more and more to the left if we don't compensate. Okay. So let's fly a bit to the left here. I'm going to reset the... Yeah, we're already drifting off. Oh, we're already just passed over it, damn it. Okay. So I don't know what my crab angle is. Alright, making that turn, standard rate. Because if I had some time to just fly that inbound leg first, I knew what my crab position was, my crab angle was, heading. And then I could multiply that by 2 and use that as the inverse deviation on my outbound leg. And that would give me the proper compensation here. So now I'm going to shortcut my turn, my heading. let's say, well, 15 degrees or so, I don't know, something like this. Rather be too extreme here than too short, so there we go. Outbound leg with a crab position into the wind. The wind is, no, but that doesn't make sense. The wind is coming from the north, so I should overturn. It's blowing to the south. Am I right? I think I'm right. I think I'm right. Let's see. Maybe I didn't explain too well, but try doing it on your turn inbound. Check when E is on your right side and the needle is also pointing straight to the right. If the needle is faster, that means you're turning too fast and vice versa. Ah, well that requires a little bit more exercise, Shoko, but I guess what you're saying there. 3 times correction in the outbound. Yeah, I'm studying King Schools there. King Schools videos, and they work with a multiplier of 2. Okay, making my turn. And again, my inbound leg is 0, 9, or 5, but because we're pushed from north to south, I'm going to shortcut this turn. Which is still set to that correction, wind correction, that's good. Yes, and we're already on that. How does that work? No, it doesn't work like that. Something like this. And you can see now they're already drifting off. So I should have been... Yeah, that's logical because I didn't correct for the wind during the outbound leg. Yes, so let's make that 60. Set it to 60 here. And again, Shogo, I guess I need to just take some time to study what you're saying, but this might work as well. 6, 6, still cross-referenced. Perhaps I don't have the time to fix this. Also, I should have changed my, reset my compass. Don't know if I have the time to get this needle to 0, 9, or 5 again, so that I know that I'm actually on that leg. And looking at my GPS, that's not the case. There it goes. Okay. A bit more of a steep angle. Let's try again. And make that standard. It's a bit confusing. I have to look at my map, my track. So we're getting pushed now this side. So I need to overturn. To stay on track. Something like this. One minute. Don't know what that grab position is. Still haven't got the time or chance to work with that, but that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. But I fell short. Yeah, it took me some more time to make that turn. Multiply it by 2. That's not what I'm flying. Now it's more like that, perhaps. Yeah. Again, it's just visualizing, at least in my mind. What am I doing? What am I doing? What should I expect? Gabon, this is El Monte. There we go. Standard rate turn. So now we're facing into the winds. So probably I'm still have some room here. Well, look at me at 60. It should be right on the money, and it is. So let's keep turning. 0905. Look at that. Bang on. A little bit overturned there. Good. Yes. Yes, so the mistake that I made, and again I should time this as well, so we know what we're doing in terms of making the outbound leg as long as the inbound one. There's a satisfaction to this, Tim, isn't there? Yeah, there is. You're doing an approach with AMO procedure turns. This is no, this game, and this is just a practice, holding pattern practice. Never did that before. There goes the holding. There goes the NDB. There we go. Again. So 42 seconds. So I'm a bit short, so I can prolong my outbound leg with about 20 seconds or 15 seconds. So there we go. Now, and again, with the correction for the crosswind, yeah, 3 times, 2 times, I don't know again what the actual crosswind correction should be. Also, I was not flying the crosswind correction. I was flying the bug just a while ago, so that's not good. Again, it should be somewhere in the neighborhood of this. Yeah, so overturning now because the winds are coming from the north, and times 2. Times 2. So 30 degrees, I don't know, something like this. Whoom, click. There we go, and we add 15 seconds because apparently we were 15 seconds short. Yeah, things finish. And it's fun. I also just intellectually, I just like to explore these exercises and have an idea what they are all about. And also, aside from just learning how to fly holding patterns, this stuff also just, again, also here now, I'm flying on instruments, trimmed perfectly. I feel so comfortable flying in the soup. So it also confirms and further builds upon all of the other skills that are necessary to build on, I think. Okay, so we add 15 seconds. There you go, let's turn, standard rate turn, click, resets. Bit more there, Tim. Use that turn to descent. Let's just trust the instruments here. Look at that, look at that. Oh. And crabbed. We have overshot it, I think. Click. No, we didn't, we're short. We're still a bit short of it. Yes, there we go. So getting that needle back to 0, 9 or 5, perhaps a bit more. We got that crosswind going. 16 seconds on the clock. Let's see if we can hit 1 minute before that needle swaps on us. Wind is coming from the north. We're spot on here, so I guess the correction is about 10 degrees to stay on track. 41 seconds. We did better than last time. There it goes. Well, again, I should cross-reference my compass as well once we're at the outbound leg. One more time. This is fun. Yeah, finish. NDB approaches are coming up. Right, good turn. So we had around 10 degrees, 8 degrees of 16, 20 degrees for the outbound leg. We're not really flying precisely that standard rate turn. Now we are. Overturning, winds are coming from the north, so we're getting pushed to the left. $10, $20. Good, and I needed to press that one. We were 7 seconds too short, so I guess 22 seconds added to 1 minute. And let's see how we do. And then I call it a day. Interesting. Procedure ones it is. With vectors it's easy. Yeah. Exactly. Procedure ones. But this is good progress. And that means that the next holding pattern that I still have left to do is just a GPS referenced one. And I don't know how I need to do that actually. Whether I can set those. Whoa, I'm really off, by the way. My gosh. I'm not paying attention. How I input holding patterns in my GPS. I think we might overshoot the ADF for the bearing this time. 22 coming up. Let's see how well we do. Standard rate turn, control, click. No, off. So let's keep that standard rate turn going. There comes the needle. It's lacking behind. It's not too far off, but and I shouldn't turn to the ending bug, but grab position, Tim. Grabbed position into the wind. We've got winds, and look at that. On the money. And I should have pressed that button and add just 3 seconds here, just for fun sakes. Very fun holding patterns. We will never fly one, ever, I guess, on PilotEdge, especially not as a 172. Drifting off because I'm not really flying that crabbed. Angle there. I already passed it, I think. Look, it's already turning. That's a bit strange. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, if we can make any sense out of this. Yeah, so I already passed that one, but the lines overall are pretty much there. And you can see, indeed, it becomes a more like a keyhole shape. So we are crabbed into the wind to precisely fly that inbound leg towards El Monte NDB. But here we are crabbed the other way around. No, we're also crabbed inwards, obviously. Yeah, we're crabbed inwards. So we're getting pushed there because this circle is going to be a little bit more tight. Then here we got a tailwind because we're getting pushed from the north to the south. So this turn is going to be extended and this one is going to be short because here we need to push ourselves into the wind. And that's what we need to compensate for. And that's why in this outbound leg, I'm pointing my nose a little bit more northbound. So we compensate for that. And if we got the winds from the south to the north, we would do the exact opposite. And then the holding pattern would be much more like this. And then the long turn is going to be on this side and this short one over here. Techno, thanks for the follow. Thank you. Very, very interesting. Well, PilotEdge is live. So let's remove the weather here. Delete. There we go. We are at 5,000. Yeah, we're not really exactly in the Bravo. If we look at the sectional here, we are about on top here of El Monte. And again, this sector here, this Bravo sector is at 4,000 feet. And also, I think, don't know what the PilotEdge regulations are, but I think they do mind when we just suddenly appear on PilotEdge mid-air in a busy airspace. There might be someone else flying there right now on an IFR flight, so I'm not going to do that. I respect PilotEdge, guys, as you know. Finish, remember there's always protected airspace in the holding pattern, so even if you're not bang on, it's okay. Yes, I know, Finish. Yeah, I know. Yeah, which in that way we succeeded. All right, so let's get this default 172 back on the ground. Let's do a more simulated engine off here. Let's see if we can do this. Off. Where are we? Oh, I cannot look to the left with my joystick because usually I'm track IR, but track IR doesn't work apparently in this default 172. Joystick, hat. Now what do we do? Rotate. Yeah, rotate to the roll. Yeah, this one. Right and rotate to the left. Alright, we got an engine out. We don't have a GPS, so let's see what we are doing. Okay, I'm bringing my speed back to glide. There's El Monte, just below us. A long way to go. Let's trim up a bit. Yeah, finish your wheel. Bug reports for that sim coders. But again, I'm flying with the latest version of the official release. So if anyone is interested in the UIT extension pack, please be interested, because the final release, the public release, is bug free, as far as I know. What a beautiful scenery. Again, this is such a nice area to fly. Packed with airspace, packed with aircraft. Air traffic. And very soon we will be flying here as IFR pilots as well. Just double check that my PilotEdge is not on. No. More downwards here. Rather just circle down to get to that runway. It's a nice exercise. It forces you to have a little bit of an intuitive sense of how fast you're going down, actually. So this exercise is I mean, imagine having an engine out while you're flying and you really need to get somewhere. I mean, there's water. You need to get to the coast. And you already have developed a sense of whether you will make that, or whether you could better turn back to an island over there, which is a little bit more rocky and not preferred, or whatever. So this is a nice exercise, especially for flight sims, because you can play around as much as you like. Oh, this is nice. So it makes me feel flying sailplanes again. Did that a while ago with Digital and Keith, which was really, really fun. Also challenging, by the way. And we wanted to fly from one airport to the next, crossing some mountain range. I wasn't even able to just get up 2,000 feet or so. Also a lot of thermal aerodynamics stuff going on there that I would love to learn more about. And also how the winds are affected by mountains. I believe X-Plane is actually pretty sophisticated about calculating all of that stuff. So, but especially if you're interested in sailplane flying, check out Condor 2. Condor 2 simulator. That's a dedicated sim for sailplanes. Not that fancy looking like X-Plane, but it works. It works. Alright, now it becomes a little bit tricky. Are we going to make another 360 or not? I think we would be too low then. Techno, is it X-Plane 11? This is X-Plane 11, indeed. Yes, it is. Again, expecting that I can just turn my head here to change my viewpoint with my tracker AR, but we needed to fly the Laminar 172 here, the default one, because there was apparently a bug in the latest version of the 172 rep, and my ADF didn't work. Thanks again for Digital Aviator to check it out on his own computer and let me know, because that allowed us to change airplanes and still do some proper practicing, and it went pretty well with those ADFs and holding patterns and crosswind corrections. So I'm pretty, actually really pleased. All right, keeping my nose down here. Apparently there's a fire truck waiting there. Waiting for us. Okay, now we need to be a little bit more precise. I'm not sure. Oh no, flaps don't work obviously now because I also killed my batteries. We can just simply turn those on, but that would make it a little bit less challenging. What are we doing? There's the right, we're still a bit high. A lot of right rudder now. Right rudder still, right rudder still. Let's put our tail into the wind so we can slow down. Still right rudder, left aileron, forward slip it is called. So we can descend. And bleed off that energy. And straighten our nose. Left rudders. That was not too bad. Breakage. Not too much, so we blow up our tires. And we made it! Good practice. Fun practice, but also interesting. And there we are, and off of the runway. Okay. So, again, yeah, that completed. Let's reset the buttons here. Off for my next flight. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. And I'm actually quite pleased. ADF-based holding patterns. With crosswinds, I also learned a little bit more just about crosswind correction in general, which I can also apply to VOR referenced or intersection referenced or based oriented holding patterns. So that's good. And again, chances are we will never fly a holding pattern, but it's good practice, and you learn so much more that you can also apply in other terrains, other domains within your flight simulation practice. So that's cool. That means that I only have one variation of the holding pattern to practice, and that is the GPS referenced based oriented holding pattern. And again, as I repeatedly mentioned, I need to study a bit or think about how I'm going to do that, because just basing my holding patterns off of the GPS, just seeing a fix would not really cut it, I guess. So that's something that I need to look up to see how we either going to approach or set up an exercise for that. So that's up next, perhaps tomorrow or Tuesday. And once we finish that, we completed all of the preparatory exercises and skill development. And then we can move on into the instrument approaches stage of my training. LPV approaches, ILS approaches, AirNav approach, all kinds of stuff with ATC. So then PilotEdge is going to be involved in our training. It's going to be really exciting. Cannot wait. Z-Camera, where can I get the painting of your aircraft? You cannot get it anyway. It's a custom paint there. I made it myself specifically for this channel. So, but you can make your own. There are many tutorials on YouTube where you can mess around with Photoshop and create your own liveries for X-Plane. It's really cool. Again, guys, thank you for your encouragements and follows. Finish, thank you for your guidance as well. Also, Shoko, Milky, thank you for your suggestions as well. I need to reread your suggestions to see if I can incorporate that strategy into my flying as well. Digital, thank you for checking out that whole NDB ADF stuff, that bug of my SimCoders rep version here that needs to be fixed. Again, guys, thank you so much, and as always, happy flights and blue skies.
Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Pop Hotel Tango, India Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. Information X-ray for a full stop, then in 13 left if that's faithful.
Pop Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Pop Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
That's faithful, isn't it?
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, plus 4658 is type PC12 slam code, request clearance to Vegas S filed.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be forward to 7. Plus 4658 is cleared to Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 311. Maintain 7,000. Check by level 2, 405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3, and initially 5,000 expected cruiser F25, departure 167, plus 6 plus, which is exciting.
Pause 4658, reback is correct. Equity Mike, taxi to RAM via echo remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the RAM via echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Delta Union Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic. Left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and before you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base start.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.73.
Clear to land, turning right, United.
Pablo Tower KM 2080 Kilo IFR runway 4.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1 mile. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Left clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 East Trend.